Hi guys, how was your day guys? Are you guys enjoy for day? Okay guys, so today I will explain to you guys about time series analysis. But before that, let me introduce myself. I'm Julia, I'm represent 7. Okay guys, today we will talk about time series analysis. But before that, we must know about what is periodic data. This one. Maybe I will send a PPT in group 2. So periodic data is like a chronological data. It's like you can see from this diagram or this table. The data is tell us about in 2017 until 2021. So this periodic data will be using for a time series analysis. And suddenly, what is time series analysis? So this time series analysis is a quantitative method that using for study the regular movement of patterns of past data. So when we know about the data patterns, and we can predict it like for future planning or something. And this time series analysis have a 4 component. So the first one is sequential trends, the second one is seasonal variation, the third one is cycle variation, and the last one is irregular variation. Sorry guys, it's look like heavy. But before I explain to you guys about one by one the component of this statistic or this time series analysis, we must know that time series analysis is using some component or sometimes using all of component, and we have classic model that assumes that the time series value is combination of the 4 component. So we will got the y equal t times to s times to c and times to I. This y is time series analysis, and this t is a secular trends, and s is seasonal variation, and this one is cycle variation, and I is irregular variation. Okay, we move to the next slide, and I will explain to you guys about one by one of the component. The first one is secular trends. So this secular trend is up and down movement for a long period of time. So they have like a 3 part. The first part is upward trends, and then steady trends, and the last one is downward trends. So like you guys can see in this graphic, you can see this is called upward trend. Why we call it upward trends? Because we can see the line and the point is like increase, so the graphic is upward. The example is like a cost of living. You know guys, every time cost of living is increase, not decrease, so the graphic will be upward. And then this one, the steady trend. Steady trend means like it's the same, not just stable guys. They have a stable graphic. You can see from the point and the line. In 2015, you can see the point is in 60, and then the 2016 it in 100, but 2017 is 60 again guys. So this one is called steady trends. And the last one is downward trend. This downward trend, you can see the point and the line is decreased, so the graphics will be downward like this. Okay. And the second one is seasonal variation. So this seasonal variation is periodic up or down movement of period of less than 1 year. So it just less in 1 year. So like you guys can see on the graphic, you can see in 2019, you can see the line, it's just only in this year, so it's using 3 month or 3 month. So in 1 year is 3 month, 3 month is 4, so it's 1, 2, 3, and 4, like you can see on the graphic. Okay, the next one we will talk about cyclical variation. So this cyclical variation is very upward or downward in movement over a long period of time, normally like 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, or 25 years. So the difference this one between the seasonal variation only less than 1 year, but this one is long period like 5 years, 10 years, and like what was I say to you guys. So the example of this one is business cyclists, and this business cyclists have a 4 phase. The first one is revival phase, the second one is prosperity phase, third one crisis phase, and the last one is depression phase. This one, like you guys can see on the graphic, you can see this the first one is this one is revival phase. This one is property phase. This one you can see in here, it's the decrease, so it's called crisis phase. And this one, the lowest one, the four, this one is depression phase, guys. Okay, the last one we will talk about irregular variation. So the difference about this irregular variation between the another one, this irregular variation is like we can predict the movement. Why we can predict the movement? It is because a change factor. So the example is like fluctuation in product demand when something like natural disaster is happening, like maybe a earthquake. So we don't know the demand and it's not stable, and we don't know, and we can predict it. So that's called irregular variation. So that's all from me, guys. Thank you guys for hearing me. Bye bye.
Om Swastiastu. My name is Nikada Putrianindya Aristianti and my number is 6. So I want to continue the presentation, which is linear trend. And before that, I'm really sorry for my voice is low because I'm a little sick right now. Okay, the linear trend has an equation that can generally be expressed as follows. This is the formula, which is y equals a plus bx. Y is dependent variable, x is independent variable. In this case, x is time, a is y-intercept, which is a constanta value, and b is slope or direction of the trend line. And there are 4 methods for determining the linear trend. First one, freehand method. Second one, semi-average method. Third one, moving average method. And the last one is least squares method. So in this presentation, I will explain about a freehand method and semi-average method. So for the freehand method, this method is the simplest compared to the other 3 methods. To determining the trend movement using this method, first, the observed data must be plotted in a sketch diagram or graph. Then a straight line is drawn through the sketch plot. This method produces a trend that is subjective. For the easier to understand, let's move on to the example slide. So this is the example slide. It is known that the number of visitors to agro-tourism over several years is as follows. Number 1, illustrate the data. Number 2, create the trend equation. Number 3, what is the estimate number of visitors in 2021 and 2022. Okay, this is for the plot the visitors data. And number 2, this is solution of trend equation. As you guys can see, this is sum at a table is period or x, and then we get 0 in 2014 and until 6 in 2020. And this is for the solution. And we add this one in the formula, which is number of visitors. The first number of visitors is y and x is period. So we have the result, this one. Okay, next, number 3, estimate number of visitors in 2021 and 2022. Okay, so if 2020 is 6, so 2021 is 7 and 2022 is 8. So we can add just the value of x, this one. We add the 7 for 2021 and 8 for 2022. So this is the result. Okay, next we move on to semi-average method. The semi-average method is essentially dividing the data into two parts, namely the first group and the second group. These two groups are then used as the basis for calculating the trend. Okay, we move on to the example slide. So this is the example when the data is even. So it is known that the sales data of PTE class over several years are as follows, and data is in thousand. 1. Create the trend equation, and 2. What is the estimate sales amount for the years 2021 and 2022? Okay, this is for the solution. Okay, because it is the event data, we can share this into two parts like that, because it's event. So so if the number of data points is odd, then the middle data point is not included in the calculation or is placed into one of the two groups. So like that. And this is for the solution. An average of group 1. We can calculate the sales of 2013 until 2016 and divide it by 4, and this is the result. So for the abscissa point of group 1, we can add the period 0 plus, and for the last period is 3 divided by 2, and this is for the result 1.5. And average of group 2, same with the average of group 1. We can add the sales of 2017 until 2020 divided by 4. This is the result, and abscissa point of group 2 is 4 plus 7 divided by 2, and this is the result. So we can add the value of this one in the formula. So this one is y1, we can add in there, a plus b 1.5. So this is the result of a, and for the y, we we add the value in the formula 2, and this is the value of b. Okay, and this is the another formula to finding the value of b, like this. And the value is same with this, 18.75. Okay, we must to find the value of 8, like we add this value in there, and for the b1 we input the value of this. So this is the result, and the trend equation is like that. This is the result. Okay, and estimate sales amount for the years 2021 and 2022. Okay, we already know that the trend equation is this. Okay, because the 2021, the value of x is 8, so we just input the x value is 8, and this is the result. And same with 2021, the value of x is 9, so we add the 9, and then this is the result. Okay, that's all from me, so thank you very much.
Swastiastu. Hello everyone, my name is Nima Devanik Valenta Devi and I'm number 8. In this video, I will explain about two methods. It's moving average method and least square methods. Okay, the first I will explain about moving average method. So what is moving average method? So moving average method is a method that used to average of several recent data as forecast data for the next period. And also there's a strength and also the weakness of using this method. So the strength is suitable or recommended for stable receiving data. Next, it's easy to understand and use because it just uses the simple formula. And the next is more stable forecasting result. And the next is the weakness of these methods. It's not accurate enough to reflect the latest data trends and then requires a lot of data in the past and slow to respond to data change. Okay, after this explanation, I conclude the moving average method. It's really simple to use and really easy to understand the formula, but the weakness is this method. It's not accurate if we use the small amount of data. We need to a lot of data in the past to make it more accurate, and also we can calculate the data based on total because the data is sometimes can affected by the condition. And also there's the formula of simple moving average. It's a1 plus a2 and further, where n divided by n, where the a is the price of an asset at period n and the n is the number of total periods. Okay, we move to the example to make it more clear. A company sales data for the past 10 years is presented in the following table. Create a 4-year moving average. Okay, there's the 10 data from 1989 until 1998. Okay, from this data, I use for the example is the blue line. It starts from the 1989 until 1992. We calculate with some total of the y and divide it into n, the years, we need to know it's mean 4 years. So the sum total of y for 4 years is 174, and we divide it in with 4, so the total is 43.5. And further into next year, we need to know. After this explanation about moving average method, are you understand about this explanation or no? If you have any question, please ask us in this group chat. Okay, the next is for the least square methods. Okay, what is least square methods? Least square methods that the principle is to use to minimize the sum total of the square of the deviation, or the difference between the value of dependent variable and the trend value, and the difference between the values, namely error or residual. So for using these least square methods, we need to split it into two categories. It's for ODD data and also the event data. For the odd data or data ganjil, we need to menolkan, or we put some zero into middle of the data. So there's 5 data. In this case, there's 5 data. We will put the 0 into 2099 because it's the middle of the total of data, and we will put the 20 for 1 and further, and for the 2018 and for -1 and further. Okay, there's will a right side and left side. And next is for the event. There's for the data genap. For the data genap, we put 0. It's in the middle of data, but there's the no data in there. Data in there. So we put the on the left side it's -1, and the next data is -3. So there's a scala. We put the half scala into this range of the x1 or the mengenolkan. And for the right side, it's same like this. There's a half range. Okay, hope you understand about my explanation. For the next is the formula for using least square methods. There's the formula. We need to use 2 steps to know the auto or 2 formula to make to using the least square methods. For the step 1, we need to search the A and B. The A and B, there's the formula of the A and B. The A is the y average, and the B is sum total of x I times y I and divided by sum total of x I square. And then if we already know the A and B, we need to put the A and B into the trend persamaan trend ini. And after that, or the trend equation, and we next move into the example. The quantity of foreign tourists will directly come to tourist destination during the period 2017 until 2021. There's the data, and we need to answer 5 questions in this example case. You can read it in this screen. Okay, first is trend equation. We need to know the A and B. We need to search the A. There's the A based on the table, and the B, we calculated the sum total of all the elements we need to use in this formula. After we know it, we put the A and B into the trend equation. So the result is y equals 1.99 plus 0.34. Okay, we move into the interpretation of this data, or the result of this data as the interpretation of the trend line slope. B equals 0.34 means that the number of tourists coming directly to the tourist destination increased by an average of 1.34 million people per year during the 2017 until 2021 its period. It's mean like the range atau perbedaan meningkatnya sebuah turis destinasi itu dilihat dari total 0,34 million people per year. And the next is trend value of each year. There's we need to change the x into the x1 and the result of we menolkan, or we can see it from the slide before. So for the 2017 the x is -2, so we change the x into -2, like the y equals 1.99 plus 0.34 times by -2, and the result it will be 1.31, and further into next year. And there's the table of the result we searching the trend value of each year. And the D is the estimate the virgin from the trend equation. The quantity of virgin tourists who will go directly to the tourist destination in 2024 can be projected or estimated by x equals 5. Why x is 5? Because it's based on the data before, asal mengendalikannya itu. So we will put the 2024 in the table, and the x it will be 5 plus 5, and we will use the x is 5, and we already know the y is 3.69. So the number of virgin coming to the tourist destination in 2024 is estimated at 3.69 million people. And the next is the graph. The last question in this example is how to make the graph. It's based on the observation and also the trend data. So the observation, we can see it into the C result question, and there's the banyak wisatawan or Y1, and also the trend. We put it into the graph, and there's the result of the graph. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Igustiayo Agung Yesi Granita, and my number absent is 10. So, now I will continue to explain about nonlinear trend in time series analysis. So, there are some types of nonlinear trend, and now I will explain the first type of nonlinear trend, namely as parabolic trend. So, what is parabolic trend? So, parabolic trend, also known as a quadratic trend, is a type of trend pattern in time series analysis where the values do not increase or decrease at a constant rate. And there is a general form of these parabolic trends. The general form is y equals a plus bx plus cx squares, where y stands as independent variable and the x stands for independent variable, and in this case, x equals to time, and a equals to intercept, b stands for linear coefficient, and c stands for quadratic coefficient. And in parabolic trend equation, we have a method to use, like a general method to use to solve this parabolic trend equation, namely least square method. So previously my friends already explained about this method, this least square method. So in least square method, the equation will be like this. Sigma yi equals to na plus b times sigma xi plus c times sigma xi squares. So this formula or this calculation will becomes easier if coded values are assigned to xi equals to 0. The sigma xi equals to 0. And the equations will be simpler and it will be like this. The simple equation. The sigma yi equals to na plus c times sigma xi squares and so on. So previously my friends in the group already explained about this method. So we need to make the sigma xi equals to 0 by putting the xi equals 0 on the middle of the xi. So maybe now it will sound hard, but I know you guys are smart and you will understand these materials easy. So when we use these parabolic trends, so this parabolic trend or quadratic trend is used when the data shows nonlinear growth or decline, such as the first, when the rate of increase becomes faster over time. So there is no constant rate, but they're also developing. They will also developing faster over time. And the second is when the rate of decrease becomes slower or faster. So the change is rapidly change over time. And the third is when the pattern bends upward or downward. So that's when we use parabolic trends. And to deepen our understanding, let's move on to the example slide. So here is the example. So we get this sales of Makmur Perkasa shops in Jakarta during 2015 until 2021. So we have this table where we can see the year and also the amount of sales in town, like 41, 25, 12, 3. And the question is, there is 3 questions we need to answer. The first is A, determine the parabolic trend with the least square method. And B, determine the sales in 2023 and 2024. And C, do the graph. So, to answer these questions, we need to make a complete table. Because in A questions, we need to find with least square method. And we already know if we want to use this least square method, we need to find the sigma yi, the sigma xi, sigma yi and xi, and also sigma xi squared. So we need to find those complete data by making a complete table. And here is our complete table. So we already find this complete table with xi, xiyi, xi squares times yi, and also the sigma, the amount of those calculation. So we already find. Here we can see the numbers, the years, the xi and xiyi and so on. So when we already have this table, it will be easier for us to answer the questions. So this is to answer the questions A. We need to find the equation, the parabolic trend equations. So we can see on the table that we get the sigma yi equals to 336, and we get the end of the amount of the year equals to 7, and we get the sigma xi times yi equals to 306 and 75, and also we get the sigma xi squares equals to 28, and we get sigma xi squares times yi equals to 1871, and sigma xi fourth equals to 196, 196. So we can use the simple equation that I explained before. So we just need to put the number on the equation. We can use the sigma xi times yi equals to b times sigma xi squares, and we will get the data like this. 375 equals to b times 28. So we don't know the b, and then we can switch the b into the left side, and it will be 375 divided by 28, and we will get the b equals to 13.39. So that's the first equation. And the second, we can use the sigma yi. So simply talking, it's just about finding the a, the b, and also the c, so we could make the equation with the form, the parabolic trend equation, by knowing the a, the b, and also the c. So now we will find the a and c. We can use the sigma yi equals to na plus c times sigma xi squares, and we will get 336 equals to 7a, because the n is 7a plus c times 28. But we cannot find the a and c right now because they are stuck in that form. And then we can move on to the third equation. Is sigma xi squares times yi equals to a sigma xi squares plus c, and so on, and we get this 1871 equals to 28a plus c times 196. So from the second and also the third equation, we could find the c. So we can find the c by minus the equations, and we will find the c equals to 527 divided by 84 equals to 6.27. So the c is 6.27. And from the second equation and also the fourth equation, we can find that the a is 22.92. So after we find the a, the b, and the c, we could put that on the equation, the form of parabolic trend equations. Y equals a plus bx plus cx squares. So it will be like this. Y equals to 22.92 plus 13.39 x plus 6.27x squares. So the x equals to 1 year and the y equals to the sales. So here is the answer for the a. So the parabolic trend equations is y equals to 22.92 plus 13.39x plus 6.27x squares. So let's move on to the second questions, to the b questions. So now we need to find the 2023 and 2024. And so for the b questions, we need to find the 2023 and 2024. And by knowing and by putting the numbers into the equations, we find 2023 246.62, and for the 2024 326.64. And for the c, or the last questions, we need to do the graph, and we find the graph like this for the equations for the data of Makmur Perkasa during 2015 to 2021. And that's all from me about parabolic trend equations and how to solve the questions. And for the next part and material will be explained by my friend. Thank you so much.
Hello everyone, my name is Aura and I have a student number of 9, and in this video I'm going to explain my material about exponential trend. So as you can see in here, exponential trend has the equation of y equals a times b to the power of x, where the y is dependent variable, x is independent variable, or in this case x is a time, and a is an intercept or constant value, and the b is growth factor. Exponential trend is used when the stage changes per period of a variable is mostly constant or stable. So For solve the problem of exponential trend, we need the values of A and B. And for finding the values of A, we need the formula of log A equals sigma log yi divided by n. And for finding the values of B, we need the formula of log B equals sigma xi log yi divided by sigma xi squared. So we're going to jump to the example. So the order of the question is the first one on the E. We need to make the equation trend with considering the data distribution as exponential trend. And the B, we need to predict the consumption for 2023 and 2024 from the data. So we have 11 years in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We have 11 years, or we can conclude that the number of the years of the number of the total data is old. It's not even. So since the data is old, we can take the middle year is 2016. So if you guys remember about the previous material about the least square trend, the middle year is always has the value of scale data as 0. So since we got the middle year or the middle data is 2016, so the scale of xi is 0. Okay? And for finding every scale of xi of the other data, we need to subtract every years by 2016. For example, we got 2015, we need to minus with 2016. So we got here minus 1. And 2014 minus 2016 is a minus 2, and so on and so on. And also for the years of 2017 minus 2016, sorry, is a plus 1 and a plus 2 and then plus 3 and so on and so on. After we got the scale value of xi, we need to square it. So minus 1 square is 1, minus 2 square is 4, and so on and so on. And then we got the sigma is 110 here. And then after we got the xi square, we need the value of log yi. So the yi is this part, right? And then we need to find the log. You can use the calculator to calculate it. For example, the log 5 is 0.6989 and so on and so on. And then we got the sigma log yi here, 17.6710. And then after that, we need to find the value of xi log yi. So we got the value of xi here, right? And also the value of log y here. So we just need to times it. So for the example, minus 5 times 0.6989. So we get the value is minus 34945 here. So we already got all the sigma or the total of the data we need. And then the next step is we just need to input all of it to the formula provided. So we need to find the values of A and B. So for finding the A values, we use the log A formula, which is the sigma log yi divided by n. It is 17.6710 divided by n. which is 11, and then the result is 1.6064. And you guys need to take attention because these values is not a real values of E, because it's still in the form of log. So the exact value of A is 40.40. You guys can check it on the calculator. And for the B, we use the formula of sigma xi log yi divided by sigma xi squared, and the result is 0.1772, but it is also still in the form of logarithmic, and the exact value of B is 1.50. So we got the trend exponential is y equals a times b to the power of x, right? And we already got the a values is 40.40, and the b is 1.50 to the power to the x. Next to the question B, we need to predict the consumption of the years of 2023 and 2024. We already got the y is 40.40 times 1.50 to the power to the x. So we need to find the x. If you remember, the middle year is 2016, right? And for finding the value of x, we need to minus it. So the question wants us to predict the years of 2023. So we need to minus it with 2016, and we got the x is 7. And also the years of 2024, we need to minus with the middle year or the base year, which is the 2016, and we got the x is 8. So we just need to input the x in the formula, and we got the result is 619.27 for the 2023. And for the 2024, we got the result is 1035.41.